to Crypto Moonshots. Great to have you guys here. If you're new here, welcome. So let's jump straight into it. Today we're going to be talking about Chiliz. And if you watched my last video, I kind of made these lines. So if you want to see how I, kind of made everything and I explained the trend line, go check that out. So basically, I told you guys that I'm very bullish on Chiliz, and it's going to be a coin that I'm hoping is going to, 2x minimum in the next coming weeks. And I told you guys that the reason I'm very bullish on it is because of the events coming up on the 30th of April. Today's the 7th. So I think I'm still early to it, or we're still early to it if you're watching this video as well. So let's just kind of go over a quick update about what's going on with the graph and like what it's looking like it's going to do. So as you know, let's kind of start off with kind of zooming out. It went up 1,000%, right, in a matter of 5 days, okay, starting from the 7th of March, okay, and it made a correction only 50% down. So it went up by 1,000 and it's made a 50% correction, okay, that's very little. Again, 1,000% and then 50%. So let me make sure this is right. Yeah, around 50%. Yep, that's right. And it's mostly been kind of holding this yellow line right here, or this red line a little above that, but it's kind of been, holding that line, which is a very good sign, right? The more it holds, the more we can rely on it. It did do a little fake out right here and break through, right? And I think that's because of the trend as well. Okay, so let's kind of look at our trend line that we drew. So we took the swing high, right, to this swing high previously, and we kind of drew that trend line, and then we took the swing low of here and drew it to the previous swing low. Again, this is not updated, these trend lines, because I want to show you guys something. So when it broke through this trend line, I was so happy because, again, I'm waiting to pick up some. I was so happy because I thought it's going to come crashing down to maybe, if we look at these lines, maybe like around, at least right there, minimum, right, which it did, right? But then the next one down, again, I talked about this in my repo video, you can't really trust these lines, but the next one down would have been like, around right there. Okay, so I was hoping it comes crashing down, and then I was hoping I can buy somewhere around, I don't know, wherever I drew that line, somewhere around there, right? So that's what I was hoping to happen. Okay, and then it did a little fake out on me, and then it's touching the top of that trend line. And I've been explaining to you guys in my previous videos that whenever we touch or we break through a trend line, right, and this happened with Bipro, when I told you guys that when we break through a trend line, something significant happens. Okay, so if we were to break through this trend line, I think there's a good possibility, right? Again, anything can happen, but I think there's a good possibility that we could come up, right? We can make another rally, okay? Now, the market today has been kind of negative, so I think the chances of that happening, are pretty slim. It's definitely possible, but because the market, everything is kind of negative today, at least, I think the chances of that happening in the next 1 or 2 days is pretty slim. But I think overall in the next 20 days, I think there's a chance that we could definitely, go to a new all-time high because of the events coming up, okay? So basically, if we adjust this trend line, if we kind of adjust this trend line, let me try to get that. If we adjust this trend line to bring to the swing low, right? And the most interesting thing is, this is how you know these trend lines are correct, is because this, is touching here exactly, wicked all the way to that trend line exactly, just like our previous prediction. So we drew this trend line based off of this, and it worked here, right? So there's a possibility. What is going on? There's a possibility that it could, touch this and then come back down, right? And then, kind of stay here and then decide what it wants to do, okay? Again, I'm hoping that it comes down, at least in the short term, because I want to buy in, right? So personally, I want it to come down. But if it does end up breaking through this trend line and making, one or two solid candles, then I think that it's a good time to buy, because I think that has upside potential. Okay. But again, I'm hoping that it breaks through. I'm hoping that, and if you look, this is a swing high, right? This is a lower swing high. So if we make, lower and lower swing highs, right, it's just kind of, accumulating on a downwards trend. It's not going to, that's another possibility too. It could just accumulate on a downwards trend, and we just keep drawing these trend lines, it'd be like down here, and it's just accumulating on a downwards trend. That's another possibility, and maybe it won't just go, completely crash, right? So I think the overall trajectory is swing high, lower swing high, lower swing high, lower swing high. So I like the trajectory it's going right now, because we'll be able to buy this at a discount, which will be very nice. Again, I think it's going to get rejected by this trend line and come down, okay, hopefully. And I think that there's a good chance that it might just, accumulate slowly, make lower swing highs, slowly. And then we can, I'll make an updated video about what I'm going to do then, okay? So, again, I'm personally, I'm going to buy if I see 1 or 2 candles, 4-hour candles being formed there, because I think then it's going to use this line as support, right? Again, it can do a fake out, right? It can do a fake out, like when we previously drew the trend line, it did a little fake out. But personally, I think that if 1 or 2 or 3 solid candles form above it, I think it has upside potential, just because of the events coming up. But again, in the short term, I'm hoping it's going to accumulate down. That's what it's looking like. There was a possibility that's going to crash down, but it's just not looking like it right now. It's just looking like it's going to accumulate down and down and down. So that's just what it's looking like to me. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not, but that's just what it's looking like. So yeah, I'm definitely bullish on this. I think you guys should, do your own research and check out the events coming up. And as you saw for yourself, it went up by 1,000%, and go check the website and the subreddits and stuff like that and do your own research. But yeah, I just wanted to make a quick update video about what I think is going to happen and what it's kind of looking like. So yeah, that's it. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe, join the Telegram, and thank you guys so much. See you on the next one.